Hi guys! Well. Piper Rockelle's mom is getting sued by some of the kids in the squad because apparently she was forcing them to do inappropriate things. Now, it's pretty rare for me to have to ban a YouTube channel my daughter wants to watch since her tastes are generally kid-friendly. But Piper Rockelle and all her squad friends got a hard no at my house after about 2 videos. Now, with this new lawsuit, I'm definitely feeling like I did the right thing. Keep watching to see just how twisted this channel is. If you're new here, I'll run through all the aspects of the channel, giving ratings for cost, violence, sex, profanity, and more, to see if this channel is okay for your kids. I want to say one thing before we start. Piper Rockelle is a literal child. She's 15. So I don't blame her for anything negative that I'm about to say. She's been on YouTube since she was really young, so everything she's been allowed to do in her videos really comes down to what her parents are letting happen. Now, to be fair, whatever they're doing is definitely working from a popularity perspective. The channel has over 10 million subscribers and over 2 billion views. Her content consists mostly of silly challenges and pranks with a bunch of her other teenage friends, aka her squad. Let's get right into it and talk about sex. Now, you would hope that a channel revolving around a 15-year-old girl wouldn't actually have any sexual content, but sadly that is not the case. Piper and her friends definitely act older than their age on the show. Piper got into trouble a couple years ago for posing in a skimpy bikini when she was only 13. She has a boyfriend, which is fine and age appropriate, but I don't think it's age appropriate for them to always be kissing in the videos. She also does a ton of pranks with her boyfriend that are just terrible models of relationships. She'll pretend she's cheating on him, has a secret boyfriend, pretend break up with him, or flirt with random guys as a prank. Really gross stuff like that. I definitely don't want my kids to see this as a model of how your first relationships should be. Plus, now we see in the lawsuit, Piper's mother is doing things like encouraging the kids to have oral sex and even mailed Piper's underwear to a creepy fan. So even though nothing explicit is actually shown on the channel, since it's setting such a bad example, I'm going to set this to medium. Violence fares better for this channel. Every now and then the friends push and shove, but it seemed pretty harmless. There was also one video about an abusive boyfriend, but they actually put up a disclaimer at the front of the video that domestic violence is a real serious problem and not something to really joke about. So good on her for that. I'll set the violence rating to low. Next up is cost. Of course, this is a free YouTube channel, so no cost to you as the viewer. But another interesting thing about this lawsuit is that in addition to the physical and emotional abuse the kids mentioned, they're also claiming financial abuse. So evidently, Piper and her family have been ordering these kids around, exploiting them, forcing them to wear revealing outfits as kids, and on top of that, not appropriately compensating them for it. The case hasn't been settled, but that is not a good look. Since the verdict is still out, I'll keep this at low, but that could change. Profanity is another good spot for this channel. There are hundreds of videos, so I couldn't watch them all, but I didn't hear really any bad words, and if they are said, they're bleeped out. So I'll set this to a 0. So far, the ratings haven't been terrible, but this is the worst one for me. Right here, the annoying rating. This was the initial reason I banned this channel from my house. There are 2 main reasons I find this channel to be super annoying: the pranks and the loudness. And again, I'm not calling Piper annoying as a person, she's just a kid. What's annoying is the content. I may have said this before in other videos, but I absolutely hate pranks. And the pranks on this channel are some of the worst. Pretending to be badly injured, pretending you have a secret boyfriend, pretending you hate your best friend. These aren't pranks in good fun, they're mean. And yes, I get that everyone is probably in on the prank, but the kids who watch the show don't get that. Second, there's the loudness factor. The volume on these kids is unreal. That's the first thing I noticed when my daughter tried to watch this channel. You turn it up to hear the conversation, and then the screaming starts and your eardrums explode. I'll spare you that audio here, but believe me. I will add that we stopped watching the channel a while ago, and I noticed that her latest videos in the last few months have way fewer pranks, so maybe she's growing out of it. But there still is a lot of it on the channel, so I'm going to set this all the way to a medium high. So by now you probably have a better idea of why this is not my favorite channel. Of course it's not the worst, but there are just so many other choices out there that are far less annoying and that aren't exploiting kids. This channel just doesn't add anything. You aren't going to learn anything, the kids aren't helping anyone. It's just a big waste of time. And it may actually be abusive to these kids. We'll have to see how the lawsuit plays out on this one. I know Piper herself says she isn't being exploited by her mother, but I'm not a fan of putting your kids all over the internet. Now, funny story, my kids actually have a YouTube channel. It's called Totally Cool Art if you want to check it out. But on their channel, I blur out their faces completely. So the whole concept of having your kid live their life on YouTube is just kind of cringe to me. Anyway, if your kid has to watch it, I guess I need to come up with an age rating. So I think this channel is okay for age 12 and up. You will be annoyed, but it isn't wildly inappropriate. And if I were you, I'd be sure to point out that these pranks are likely not real. The person being pranked is in on the joke from the beginning, and that pranks in reality are no fun to the person who's being pranked. Also, if your kid has headphones, you may want to use those to save your ears. That's all I have for today. I know a lot of folks like this channel, so if you disagree with me, that's okay. It's just not a channel for our family. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to see what other channel shows and games are okay for your kids. See you next time.